The 2024 Euros are well underway and the knockout stages have finally begun, and we now have a better insight of the disappointing teams and, more importantly, the teams to watch out for. Going into the tournament, the general consensus, whether you agree or not, which we don't necessarily, was that France and England had the best squads and were the top favourites for Euro 2024. As a result, they were rated slightly above the likes of Germany, Portugal and Spain as the favourites to win the trophy before the tournament began. Given the situation these teams were in and the absurdly high talent level of their players, this made sense. Going into the 2024 Euros, the Portuguese would have been quietly confident, but expectations are now higher for that team, and so far they look very strong. Now, before the haters start commenting, having won their first two games and qualifying for the round of 16, Roberto Martinez decided to reshuffle his team and start some of the players that were yet to play and rest some of the big names in the third group game. He left out some of his best players and tried a new pattern. So players like Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Dias, Pepe, Leao and Vitinha were all benched. Now, although this decision ended badly for the team as they lost, well, they were actually thrashed 2-0 by Georgia, many still view his decision as a good one, as it will aid the fitness of unused players in the knockout stage and give a needed rest to the main players. A big reason why it was possible to bench some key players is that the squad depth in this team is so very strong, so we don't think this is a huge setback for Roberto Martinez's players. Now, Portugal were spectacular in their first match against the Czech Republic, despite the game starting very disappointingly for the side. In the early stages, nothing seemed to be going right, but as soon as the Czech Republic scored their goal in the 62nd minute, well, the entire story changed. It was like the goal was a trigger for the activation of a gear shift for Portugal. They would later go on to win the match 2-1 from being one goal down. It all started in the 69th minute, when a brilliant cross from Vitinha was headed down by Mendes, which led to an unfortunate own goal, who's having an excellent tournament, by the way. Now, for a long time, it seemed like the game was going to end in a draw, but the win was later sealed in stoppage time by Conceição after a brilliant run of play by the Portuguese team. Winning like this has got to do wonders for the confidence of any team. Many fans applauded the team for coming from a goal down to winning the match. However, a good number of fans and pundits alike were of the view that this match really wasn't that worth celebrating. Although the fact that they came from behind is worth applauding, but in the first place they shouldn't even have been behind. And this made them doubt whether the Portuguese national team was ready to win the trophy. These doubts were laid to rest, though, after another display of excellence by Roberto Martinez's players in the second match of the tournament. In the second group game, Portugal faced a resolute Turkey side, and they made sure to make the match one that the Turkey national team players wish they could forget. The Portuguese team didn't just secure qualification against Turkey, they showed their superiority in all ramifications, with some even tipping them as the favourites to win the trophy just after this game, after a surprisingly strong group stage. The match started rather quietly, but a goal by the Manchester City man Bernardo Silva in the 21st minute launched what would later be a rain of goals. Another tournament own goal in the 28th minute, and then the third goal in the 56th minute by Bruno Fernandes, assisted by the main man, helped Portugal secure a 3-0 win against the Turkish side. This is the second highest winning margin in the Euro 2024 so far. At this point, it was certain that the team, led by one of the GOATs, are definitely aiming for the great prize. After a series of wonderful displays in the group stage, Portugal are definitely ready to take the bull by its horns and win the 2024 Euros. Now, this doesn't come as a surprise because of the quality of players that the team has. Diogo Costa has continued his excellent performances, the man who was in great form for Porto in the just concluded 23-24 season. He played a total of 33 league games, keeping 14 clean sheets and conceding an average of 0.8 goals per game. He also kept 2 clean sheets in the Champions League, and Costa has taken his good form with him to the national team. So far, he's made 57% of saves and kept 1 clean sheet. Ruben Dias has, of course, been very strong in the defence. The Man City defender has proven why he simply is one of the best centre-backs in the world. He's made a formidable duo at the back with the Real Madrid legend Pepe still going strong, and together they have controlled the Portuguese defence perfectly, alongside Nuno Mendes and Diogo Dalot or João Cancelo. Going into the Euros, Bruno Fernandes was always going to be a huge player for the national team, and as a result, a lot was expected of him. And so far, the Manchester United midfielder has proven to be equal to the task. Bruno was exceptional in the first two matches and was instrumental in Portugal's win in both of those games. Bruno has continued the form he was in for Man United in the 23-24 season for Portugal. Now, although Man U had a bad season, Bruno himself was still great. He finished the season with 15 goals and 13 assists in 48 matches. Bernardo Silva is another instrumental Portugal player. The Man City midfielder is arguably one of the best midfielders in his generation. The Portuguese is just one of the best technicians we've ever seen in the Premier League. He's unique. He's not a prolific goal scorer, but he can create chances out of nowhere. And most importantly, he's an orchestrator and works harder than anyone else in the squad. So far in the competition, Bernardo has shown why he's regarded very highly by those who watch the Prem. In 2 matches, he's scored 1 goal, created 1 big chance, and made 3 key passes each game, all while entertaining the fans with his beautiful style of play. Now, like always, the controller of the Portuguese frontline is their captain, Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo is undoubtedly one of the greatest players ever. He's Portugal's all-time leading goalscorer and the highest goalscorer in European Championship history. Going into the tournament, many people insisted that Cristiano shouldn't start, because if he does, it will reduce the chances of Portugal actually winning the trophy. And for me, Portugal are actually one of the contenders for this summer's European Championships. I actually think they can win, the former player said, but only if Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't play. Now, if there's anything Ronaldo has done so far in the Euros, it's that he's kept his critics' mouths shut. Although the man with 5 Ballon d'Ors has yet to score at the 2024 Euros, he was instrumental in the win in rounds 1 and 2 and has shown his quality is for sure still there. What a story this would be if Portugal can go far at Euro 2024. Other players like Vitinha, João Felix, Nuno Mendes, Rafael Leão, Diogo Dalot, Francisco Conceição, Diogo Jota, Paulinho, and many others have also just been wonderful to watch. Now, there are some other teams who've been playing well so far, especially Spain and Germany, but if the Portugal team can continue to play like this, they might just go ahead and win the trophy. And the chances of them winning have increased because of the form of the more stereotypical favourites. France are currently going through a tough patch, although they started their tournament on a good note after the narrow win against Austria, who've looked great in the first round. It has been crazy for them so far. Unlike expected, France narrowly qualified from their group, finishing second behind Austria. France, in 3 group stage matches, could only secure 5 points. They drew 2 matches and won just 1. Now, for a team of the French calibre, this is beyond disappointing and very unexpected. England, of course, have also had a rather disappointing group stage performance. The nation was tipped by a lot of people to win the Euros. Surprisingly, they only had 5 points in the group stage, but got lucky, managed to top their group, and a lot of questions have been asked, and fans have started trending a hashtag to sack Southgate after dire attacking displays in all 3 matches. Of course, this changed somewhat after the recent win against Slovakia, but we'll cover that in another video. The knockout stage is where the journey to being a champion starts properly. But as it stands, the Portuguese national team has had better displays at the tournaments, and with a bit of luck, could for sure go all the way. Portugal will be facing Slovenia in the round of 16, which they would have been expected to easily beat, and then the challenges start stacking up. They'll likely be facing France unless KDB and Lukaku can conjure up some magic. So can they beat France before they get back on track and start playing well again? Now, the winner between these two will face Spain or Germany in the semi-final. This is a potentially title clenching match. With this line of tough games but an excellent squad, can Portugal win the Euros again?